اوكي، مساء الخير. انا كرولس عبد المسيح. انا ان شاء الله هكون الهوست النهارده في سيشن دلوقتي. حابب اتكلم بس عن السيشنز اللي قبل كده. يعني كان معانا قبل كده الايكو سيستم محلي ناشونال، على مستوى الناشونال، ودلوقتي هنطلع بره على مستوى الانترناشونال، يعني على مستوى الدولي. معانا دلوقتي مس فالنتينا. مس فالنتينا هي رائدة أعمال وصحفية، معاها وحاصلة على ماجستير في دراسات السلام وحقوق الإنسان. مس فالنتينا هي الفاوندر of startups without borders لدعم اللاجئين. مس فالنتينا اشتركت في أنشطة ودعمت أنشطة كثيرة في الميدل إيست، في الشرق الأوسط. هي عطت وادت كثير من الورك شوبس والتدريبات والمحاضرات عن ريادة الأعمال بشكل عام في كذا دولة، مش بس في مصر، في فلسطين والأردن وروسيا وكذا دولة. I just want to introduce my dear guest speaker. Okay. Ms. Valentina is an entrepreneur and journalist with a master's in peace studies and human rights. Also, she is a founder of Startups Without Borders to support refugees. Moreover, she is involved in the Middle East entrepreneurial landscape since 2013. She's launched startups scene Middle East in 2017. Moreover, she gave workshops and conferences, in Egypt, Palestine, Jordan, Russia, Norway, lots of countries actually. So I'm really thrilled to announce that we're having a session, a talk with Ms. Valentina. She's gonna talk about how to build a truly international startup ecosystem. So the stage is yours, Ms. Valentina. Thank you.
So good to meet you, to finally be here to share this online event with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. Yes, we're going to talk about diversity and the importance of building a diverse startup ecosystem. But I want to share this reality and this movement, as we call it, that was actually born in Egypt. I have a very, very special connection, special relationship with Egypt, which is where I lived before. So basically, I'm going to share my presentation so that you can get on borders. And what we do is building a transnational ecosystem for refugee and migrant entrepreneurs. This ecosystem, it looks like the PDF is not loading. Let me try again. This ecosystem comes at a surprise for a lot of people because not everyone can relate. But what if I told building incredible businesses using blockchain to connect people and give people a virtual ID? What if I told you that there are incubators, accelerators, and lots of support organizations that are building, that are part of this ecosystem that is international and that so far was not crystallized, was not gathering in one? By sharing my screen, it can be a little bit easier. Yep. So I hope you can see my screen over there. As I said, we are startups without borders. And our mission is to build the ecosystem for entrepreneurs on the move, for newcomer entrepreneurs. And we're giving also at the same time, we're providing investors with an entry point. So how do we do this? Driving a change in perceptions, showcasing the power and the innovative spirit of refugee and migrant entrepreneurs. And this is an example. So Tay was born in Syria. He spent 2 years in a refugee camp in the Netherlands. And during these 2 years, he did a master's in blockchain. While doing this master's, he participated in ID country. He has raised so far over $1.5 million, and he also self-published his first book, The Invisible Son. I really suggest that you look for him, that you Google him. He's now doing workshops. You can also contact us to get in touch with him. He's also doing trainings right now on cryptocurrencies. So you're interested. Chris Richmond lives in Italy, in Bologna, and he has built Italy's first micro-learning app for migrants with 8,000 quizzes. He has raised €1 million and has reached 70,000 users. Also, his company, Migrants, has partnered with some of the largest companies and organizations in Italy. This is our impact. This is what we have done so far. We've run more than 2,300 events. We've trained more than one for you to learn how to build your website so you can apply as well. We have a network that today counts with more than 5,000 entrepreneurs. And we are very, very proud to be a platform that supports female entrepreneurs in particular. Now, I want to tell you about the summit because the summit is our largest event, it's our most important annual event. We've been, right, three continents at the same time. How do we do that? With live stages. We had an Arabic stage, we had a stage in Cairo, and we had a stage in Amsterdam as well. 95 different speakers joining from around the world, including the Prince of the Netherlands, Prince Constantine, including Dell Technologies, Microsoft for Startups, Facebook Middle East, the largest players and the biggest companies that participate in the startup landscape were there. These are a few examples of the speakers that we had. Formerly, he was a partner of 500 Startups. Now he's the founder of Plus VC. Maha Awulenain, she works with Gary Vaynerchuk, and as I said before, the Vice President of Dell Technologies, Anya Monrad. Become the best. There's a lot of things that we very long journey. We've been in media, international media, Forbes, Entrepreneur Middle East, RAI in Italy, Startup Scene, Arab. The organizations and the companies that we part in this journey. I wanted to tell us to build ecosystems, to build startups, to build change and innovate. Sometimes I keep telling that to myself, right? You know, when we are in university, to get discouraged by teachers, by family members who tell you who you can or you cannot be. And this is a very, very important lesson that you're going to learn. Nobody gets to tell you who you can or who you cannot be. I remember when I was in the first day of university, I was studying journalism, and sitting in this room, only are going to encouraging moment for me, but I didn't let that fear push was to travel to Italy. I got a scholarship, went to Italy, and the whole world opened up. Since then, a new goal was born, which was doing a master's in Italy as well. And I worked very, very hard to get that master's. I had to do many, many different jobs, waiting tables, selling creams, working as a journalist, with a master's degree. It's a lot of hours and a very costly to move to Italy. I began working as a tour guide. When I went back to Rome, I started working as a tour guide at the Vatican. Now, you may say, how are all these things connected to what you're doing now? And I wonder, don't worry about it. Don't worry if what you're doing doesn't seem to make sense, because you're going to be able to connect the dots at the end of the journey. Everything that you have done, and it is going to make this journey. I was working as a tour guide, as I said, and I hear fabulous country where I met incredible people. I was able to have very interesting conversations. It was also 2000 so interesting. It was just so insightful. But there was one thing that drew my mind more than anything else. Rabba massacre. I was working at a small company called Britain. Egypt. And we decided to turn this moment into an opportunity to create impact. And we created something called the Curfew Library. So the Curfew Library was an initiative for people to exchange books while bringing two books. You exchange one, you read more during the curfew. But this library in Ezet El Khairallah, and it was amazing because of all the opportunities it created. It was amazing to see how little could have such a strong impact. Media organizer world. Now, by connecting with all these media companies, I began writing for them, and I began writing about positive stories in the Middle East, positive stories in Egypt and the Arab world. These positive, like the women in the picture, and yet they were volunteering, they were creating change, they were taking the future in their own hands. I also interviewed lots of entrepreneurs that were creating furniture out of waste. Starters were having a great impact, creating jobs and improving their country. They were very, very motivated by this will and this ambition to transform their nation. I founded then startups in Middle East in 2017, and the ones got to hired by the entrepreneurs. Getting to know, started a new business at the same time was big. And I just started thinking, what if the job in so many countries? And this is how the idea of Startups Without Borders began. Not just a social enterprise, it is a movement. It is a movement of people who believe that migrants and refugees have a lot to give. We believe that they are the opportunity, right? This is why I was 2 years old. We decided to move from 3 different continents, Europe, North America, events, through online activities. We can also be more, right? So a very big part about building international startup ecosystem in our summit last year. As you can see, Egypt is a huge majority of our community, but we also have lots of entrepreneurs in the Turkey, Netherlands. These are some of the figures of our summit. We have 27,000 website views during the event, 1,000 video views as well. I wanted to ask an entrepreneur I learned through the journey, and that I would like to share with you as well. Lesson number 1, start with your customer. At the beginning, we were not worried about how to generate revenue. We were not worried about the business model. We were worried about how we could add value. But we were able to interact with them. We were able to meet them in person and see them face to face. So start with your Sometimes we're afraid of asking for help, but it's something super easy. If you ask, there's thousands. Don't think about expenses first. Don't think about spending a lot of money to do your social media. Be resourceful things by partnering up with other startups that wanted to grow, by joining forces with other entrepreneurs. Bootstrap to every far neighborhood inside Cairo. Where we could buy them. We got the Christmas lights from West Balad. We were super resourceful in creating everything ourselves, our own. Number 4, this is a hard one. Hire slow, fire fast. Make sure that your team is aligned, that your team has the same values, and they have the same mission, that they share this mission with you. Number 5, persevere. Your talent, your expertise, your witch, your intelligence, your connection, none of that will make you succeed. The only thing that will make you succeed is if you can fall down and get up again every the light. You need to keep going and persevere and learn to take the hit. I'm here contact me for information or as I said earlier, to get in touch with people as bright as corruption. Okay.
Hello.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, sure. So you're finished now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Okay, my apologies. It looks.
okay. It was really beneficial, and I appreciate the remarks you made at the startup land this year. Thank you for taking the time to speak to the startup land fans, talking about the startup, the international startup ecosystem. So thank you so much, and appreciate your time. ودلوقتي
Thank you.